Howdy heck and hello H2Os, Roller Bros, and Maggie the losers alike. I'm your guide Q.
Pizza time.
And welcome to r/Tales from the Pizza Guy. We looked at an Ask Reddit that was similar to this, but there's an entire subreddit for these sorts of stories, and they're super interesting, so let's just get right in to these tales from delivery gentlemen and lady sirs. I don't know. This one's just kind of a goofy one. I committed a cardinal sin. Love those "is that for me" or "I'll take that from you" jokes 100 times a day, as we all do. Well, today I delivered to a mattress store and joked that I couldn't work there, I'd always be falling asleep. The look in the guy's eyes instantly let me know what I had done. I feel so empty inside. I'm trying to think of what like the equivalent was at the restaurant I worked at, and the only thing that really comes to mind is like we had an outside eating area, and like any time there was rain or snow, somebody would be like, "Hey, any tables on the patio available? I'd like to sit out there," and I'd be like, "No, you can seat yourself anywhere you want inside, please get away from me." I was not good in customer service, but let me know, what's the equivalent of this sort of joke for your job? Alright, I'm gonna leave out the title of this one for spoiler reasons. Got a delivery to a familiar house, nice and easy drive. Got to the door and heard the mom yell out, "I'll just be a minute." Anyway, I'm greeted to the face of a 6 or 7-year-old child when the door opens. No mom in sight. Now, I don't really care about kids answering the door in regards to tips, as in Australia we don't really have a tipping culture, and we don't rely on tips. I tell the little girl it was $18 altogether, and she looks at me puzzled and hands me a 50, saying, "Is this enough?" Of course, I'm not going to steal from a little kid, so I carefully count back her change to the exact cent. I think it's going smoothly. How wrong I was. I attempt to give her the pizza, but she is obviously struggling to hold the box. I hesitate and say, "I think it would be best if you got your mom to carry it just in case." However, she shakes her head and said her mom said she had to carry it back. This pissed me off a bit. I don't want to be blamed if she drops the pizza. The little girl gets a good grip on the pizza and walks down the hallway as I'm closing the door. Just as I was about to close the door, the little girl drops the pizza, topping side down all over the floor. At this point, I've shut the door fully, and I can see a bit of the action through the glass pane next to the door. The little kid is trying to scrape all of the toppings into the box and failing horrendously. I'm in an awkward position as I'm just standing there at the door, helpless. I wait there for another good 2 to 3 minutes waiting at the door to see if her mom came to rectify the situation with me. I was prepared to talk it over with her and see if she wanted a new one. However, all I could hear was the mom scolding her daughter about the mess she made. At that point, I was pretty pissed off. The little girl must have felt so embarrassed about the situation. The mom didn't have the decency to help her struggling kid with the pizza. As I went to my car, which was a good 20 meters away, I could still hear the mom yelling. I got back to the store and told my manager what happened just to cover my butt if the mom rang up and tried to blame anything on me. Fortunately, we didn't hear from her. Throughout the whole shift, I felt awful about the situation and felt sorry for the girl. At the end of our shift, we get to make and take home a pizza for free. I decided to make the same pizza as the one that the little girl dropped and drop it off on my way home to their house. This wasn't because I felt bad for the mom who probably had to cook her own dinner, but I felt as if it would take the stress off of the little girl. So I went back to their house, pizza in hand and some ice cream for the kid. I explained to the mom that I saw what happened and decided to tell her how little kids shouldn't answer the door as money can easily be taken / food easily dropped. I say that in the future she should at least watch her child when answering the doors for deliveries at the very least. She ended up apologizing profusely and thanking me for my troubles. The mom has answered the door ever since. Okay, can I just like flat out say that this is a bad mother? I feel like the only reason the mother should have scolded the child is if the child wasn't actually supposed to answer that door and grab the pizza and bring it in. Like if she hadn't requested that and the kid lied about the mother having told her to take in the pizza, yeah, maybe you can scold your kid for that. But, and this is a stupid thick but, you should not have that child answering the door at all. Like that's absolutely insane and ridiculous. ridiculous. The pizza guy's talking about how, like, oh, you could have money taken away from the kid, or you could have the pizza dropped by the kid. The kid could be straight up abducted. Like, you should not have your kid answering the door for strangers at all. I don't care if you're expecting a pizza and you know the pizza place. Like, it could be anybody on the other side of that door, and even if it is the pizza guy, you don't know that pizza guy that well. The kid at that age should not be answering the door. You're a bad mother because you're just not looking out for your kid enough. And I know some people might be like, oh, you don't know what kind of neighborhood they were in. I don't care how safe the neighborhood is. There are bad people everywhere, and you should just not have your kid do this. Let's send the 19-year-old girl to the high-crime area. What could go wrong? Long-time lurker, first-time poster on mobile. I delivered pizzas for a chain when I was 19. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, but this event spurred me to get one. I was a day driver mostly, and I was working for probably a couple months at the time. I get a delivery for a street that apparently has a lot of crime. One of my managers instructed me to only carry $15 in change and to call 911 if I needed to. I reminded him that I didn't have a cell phone. He said, "That's okay, just scream 911. So now that I was nervous, I set out for my destination. I get out, lock my car, and deliver the pizza with no problem. Breathe a sigh of relief, go open my car, and I locked my keys in my car. Some of the neighbors were out playing basketball in the street and saw me. One of them lent me a cell phone to call the shop. The one manager that could help me had driven to work on his motorcycle, so he had to drive home, get his truck and tools. When he asked me where I was, his response was something like, "Crap, there of all places?" So yeah, instilling more confidence in me. But in actuality, the people on the street were very kind. Various conversations ensued, like, how good is your insurance? We could just break the window, and hey man, couldn't you break into it for her? Nah man, it's been years since I've broken into cars. I didn't want to pay for damages to my car because I didn't know what the insurance on my car was. So they just kept me company for the couple hours it took for my manager to arrive with tools to open my car. Drove back to the shop to clock out for the day. Anytime I drove through that area after the incident, the locals waved at me. It's one of my favorite memories from that time. What a wholesome story. I feel like everybody's experienced something like locking keys in your car because you're kind of just screwed. Like, unless somebody can come and break you into the car or like come with another set of keys, you're just stuck entirely. So it's like really cool that these people were down to help out in any way they could. This is another one where I'm not going to read the title to protect you guys from spoilers. I had a delivery of 2 20-inch pizzas and wings. Their order was $55. I get to the house and the whole family was outside. The daughter stopped me and said that they didn't order and have received numerous fake orders to their house in the past few days. They were real nice and wanted to find out who it was, so I gave them the name and the number on the ticket and went back to the store. I tried calling the number from a store phone but got no answer. I felt bad for the family and was a little pissed this kid wasted my time, so I called from my cell and the kid answered. I told him I'm from the pizza place and he made a fake order and needed to pay. He said, "Oh poop," laughed and hung up on me. I was pissed and bored, so I tried Googling his number to get a name or address, but I couldn't find anything. I decided to try and scare him, so I sent him a text message saying that if he doesn't call and pay, the cops will be at his house in a little bit. It worked. His sister called back crying and saying, "Please don't send the police. Her parents will pay when they get home from work, and she will make sure her brother gets in trouble." Later that day, his parents called and paid for the food, and I'm pretty sure that kid won't make any more prank orders after this. I also got a free pizza and wings out of the whole thing. This one is absolute madness, and it's a short story, but he says it's a long one. So, kind of long, but in college, I was a delivery driver for Papa John's. Basically what happened was, one night we had an intense power outage. It lasted most of, if not all of my shift. Our backup generator wasn't functioning at all for some reason, and we were getting overloaded with online orders. My boss was a drunk and quite literally a wreck. Anyway, Pizza Hut was next door, and they literally offered to make our pizzas. They weren't receiving any orders for some reason, and also had a backup generator that was functioning properly. They made every order for us, and I delivered them. Sad part is we had the best reviews that night. I'll never forget it. This honestly sounds like the beginning of some like viral marketing campaign where Pizza Hut's like, hey, we helped out Papa John's one night because we're just like that. And then they got all these good reviews, like choose Pizza Hut over Papa John's. I don't know, that's just the vibe that I get from this because it sounds so insane for a competitor to help out their competitor. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know. Hey, I'm going to do a Twitch live stream of Amnesia: The Dark Descent tomorrow. I'm not sure at what time yet. I would honestly highly recommend you guys follow me on Twitter at QStarVideos. Both of those will be in the description down below, just to keep up to date on all the stuff that I'm doing, because I have kind of a crazy schedule, so it's sort of hard for me to like commit to things ahead of time, which I know is really bad, and I should probably get better with it and figure out how to manage my life a little bit better. But for right now, it's all ridiculous chaos. So if you stay updated on Twitter, you will get like all the information of like when I'm doing live streams or just what's going on in my life and with the YouTube channel and with the Twitch channel and all that stuff. But Amnesia: The Dark Descent, it's always a good time. I'm getting spooked. I'm trying to play the game. Sometimes I need advice from you guys and stuff like that. But I'm always talking to people over on Twitch too. So if you just want a chat experience, it's also good for that. So I will see you guys very soon. Skate on to the best of your abilities. Make sure you're drinking more water, and I'll talk to you in the next one.